What's up guys, here MokzZ Gaming, your F2P player spokesperson. If you are looking for the best characters tier list, new hero, and events of October, especially for beginners, this video will help you choose the right one. Recommend watching repeatedly. If you find this video is helpful, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe channel. Well, let's dive right into today's topic. Let's diving into the mysterious realm of B tier characters. Firstly, Orly, support type, deals damage equal to 140% of attack in a 2M area around the target, or a skill, grants Gale LV 5 to melee type allies, increases attack speed by 20%. Ballista, range type, deals critical hit damage equal to 175% of attack to the target, inflicts curse for 5 seconds upon a successful attack. Sylvia, range type, targets hit are taunted, forcing them to attack Sylvia. When Sylvia is knocked down, she gains the unyielding effect for 10 seconds, limited to one use. During this effect, she will not receive fatal damage. Bane, range type, initially consumes 60% of its own max HP to deal critical hit damage equal to 500% of attack in a 2-meter radius around the target. If killed, can be resurrected through a passive skill, restoring 100% HP, but can only be used once. Wiser, a defense type, deals critical hit damage to targets within a 2-meter range, inflicting burn effect for 1 second, dealing an additional 20% damage per second. Alim, range type, deals final critical hit damage equal to 150% of attack to targets within a 2-meter radius, and it lasts for 2 seconds. Passive skill, increases evasion by 50%. Next, let's talk about a tier, Mao Song, melee type, attacks the closest targets first, deals 200% attack as critical hit damage to the target and gains a 20% final defense boost for 2 seconds upon a successful attack. It also deals 230% attack damage in a 2-meter by 4-meter area in front of the caster, inflicting a 1.2 second stun. Lucrezia, defense type, after a successful attack, reduces Lucrezia's skill cooldown by 2 seconds and grants Lucrezia the Veil buff for 10 seconds, which can negate damage taken up to 10 times. Velica, range type, Velic makes the target tense upon a successful attack, applying the curse effect for 5 seconds, preventing the target from healing. Chris, melee type, Chris deals 300% critical hit damage to the target, grants allies a quick movement buff for 2 seconds, and deals damage to enemies within a 2-meter radius of the target, inflicting additional damage equal to 25% of the target's maximum health. Mirage, defense type, gains the Veil effect upon a successful attack, which can negate 1 instance of damage, deals damage to targets within a 4-meter radius of Mirage. Targets hit will be taunted and provide Mirage with a high evasion effect. Rachel, melee type, Rachel provides keen attack buff to allies for 2 seconds upon a successful attack, increasing allies' critical rate, deals damage to enemies within a 2-meter radius of the target, inflicting burn effect for 5 seconds, dealing 20% additional damage per second. Black Rose, range type, deals critical hit damage equal to 350% of attack to the target, make the target bleed for 2 seconds, causing damage equivalent to 20% of attack per second. It also enters stealth mode for 8 seconds, during which Black Rose cannot be attacked but needs to remain close to allies. Sizer, melee type, Sizer applies poison effect upon successful attack, dealing an additional 20% damage per second. With the active skill, Sizer deals damage to enemies within a 2-meter radius of the target, inflicting silence effect for 10 seconds, preventing the target from using skills. Raro, support type, deals 300% critical damage to the target upon a successful attack, restores 3.1% of the maximum HP to all allies, deals 250% damage to enemies within a 2-meter radius of the target, and removes all buffs from the target after a successful attack. Isabella, range type, Isabella inflicts a 1.5 second stun effect upon a successful attack on the target, dealing damage within a 2-meter radius around the target, and applies a 2-second sleep effect, rendering the target unable to attack, move, or use skills for a period of time but will awaken upon taking damage. Eris, melee type, with debuff lasting 2 seconds, reducing the enemy's final attack by 25%, additionally, deals 250% damage to enemies within a 2-meter radius of the target, inflicting a 1.5 second stun debuff. Snold, melee type, after a successful attack, Snold gains an attack speed boost. With an active skill, he deals 310% damage to enemies within a 2-meter radius of the target. Meg, range type, Meg applies a binding effect for 1.3 seconds, preventing the target from moving, and inflicts a stun effect for 1.5 seconds, rendering the target unable to attack, move, or use skills. Lania, support type, deals high critical hit damage to targets within a 2-meter radius, inflicts a frostbite effect reducing attack and movement speed, and deals additional damage per second. The aura skill grants allies immunity to stun, sleep, paralysis, and knockback. Carl Heron, melee type, after successfully attacking the target, makes them tense. with the active skill, deals damage to targets within a 3-meter radius of the caster, applying a 1.5-second paralysis effect, rendering targets unable to attack, move, or use skills. Clemeth, support type, deals critical hit damage to enemies within a 2-meter radius of the target and applies a 5-second silence debuff, preventing them from using skills. Additionally, through the aura skill, reduces the skill cooldowns of melee-type allies. Jave, melee type, upon a successful attack on the target, provides allies with the Gale buff, increasing attack speed and allowing rapid approach to the target. Deals damage to nearby enemies, pushing them back 2 meters. Spike, melee type, after a successful attack, Spike provides a focus buff to allies for 2 seconds, increasing final accuracy. Active skill, inflicts frostbite effect for 5 seconds. Dylan's, melee type, provides a brief buff to teammates that increases critical hit damage upon a successful attack on the target through an active skill, deals high damage in a frontal area and silences the target for 10 seconds upon a successful attack, preventing them from using skills. And then, S tier, by long, melee type, targets, range type, foes first, dealing 300% attack as critical hit damage, gains a 16% critical hit rate boost for 2 seconds on a successful attack, also obtains a doesn't fall buff for 6 seconds, usable once when fallen. Orca, range type, applies bleed effect upon a successful attack, lasting for 2 seconds, dealing additional damage to the target per second, and increases attack speed buff. Rudy, defense class, after a successful attack, Rudy provides allies with a sturdy shield buff for 2 seconds, restoring 10% of Rudy's own HP per second for 5 seconds and granting control immunity during this period. Bathory, range type, deals critical hit damage equal to 300% of attack to the target, consumes 10% of the caster's max HP to recover all allies' HP by 3.8% of HP, passive skill, recovers HP equal to 20% of damage dealt. Harmal, melee type, gains a defense buff upon a successful attack on the target, increasing final defense, and inflicts a stun debuff, rendering the target unable to attack, move, or use skills for a period of time. Ryan, melee type, after successfully attacking the target, Ryan gains an evasion increase buff for 2 seconds, increasing Ryan's final evasion. He deals 700% damage to the target and gains a critical hit rate increase buff, increasing his critical hit rate. Terra, range type, after an attack, Terra gets a Ten's Veil effect, negating 1 instance of damage. Her active skill damages enemies in a 2m radius of the target and bestows the Fierce Spirit buff on range type allies for 5s, increasing their final attack power. Seton, applying a defense reduction effect lasting 1 second, reducing the enemy's final defense. It restores 25% of all allies' health and removes all debuffs from the targets. Soy, support type, deals critical hit damage equal to 275% of attack to the target, inflicts reduces final evasion by 50% for 2 seconds upon a successful attack. The active skill grants nullifies damage taken 1 time to all allies for 10 seconds. Finally, let's talk about SS tier. Ingrid, melee type, inflicts critical hit damage on the target, applies a defense debuff, reducing final defense, deals high damage to the target, and applies a frostbite effect, lasting for 10 seconds. Frostbite can decrease attack and movement speed and deals additional damage per second. Misha, melee type, applies poison effect upon successful attack, dealing additional damage per second, inflicting high damage on the target, applies curse effect upon successful attack, lasting for 10 seconds, preventing the target from healing. Eileen, melee type, grants allies a buff that increases final attack power upon a successful attack on the target, deals damage in a semicircular area in front of Eileen, inflicting a paralysis effect that momentarily prevents the target from attacking, moving, and using skills. Sebastian, range type, after a successful attack, Sebastian gains an attack increase buff for 2 seconds, increasing final attack power by 25%. His active skill, Magic Bullet Burst, deals 880% damage to the target. Kyriel, range type, gains attack speed increase buff upon successful attack, lasting for 2 seconds, increasing attack speed and dealing high damage to the target, and receives a 10-second attack boost, increasing final attack power. Kagura, range type, deals 225% attack damage, inflicts a 2.5-second bind. Additionally, deals 250% attack damage in a 2m x 6m area in front of the caster, knocking the target back 5m. Increases final damage by 50% against melee type. Ace, melee type, deals 320% critical hit damage to the enemy, can reduce skill cooldown time by 3 seconds and grants the Blood Moon buff for 2 seconds. Ace activates the ultimate skill, dealing 900% damage to the target, and gains a 10-second buff, increasing Ace's critical hit rate and attack speed by 24%. Ren, range type, dealing 360% critical damage, removing buffs on hit, and boosting final critical damage by 24%. She gains a 2-second Crimson Scales buff. Her active skill excels with 1,120% attack damage, a 30% final damage increase, a 100% critical hit rate boost on successful attacks. Well, the above 7 Nights Idle Adventure October Update Best Tier List, I've provided timestamps in the description. If you find the video is helpful, don't forget to subscribe my channel. See you next video.